Greetings and welcome to another episode of MystiCast. I'm Jordan Bitts.
And I'm Eric Mathias. Stay tuned for all the greatness that is about to happen right here, right now.
This is MystiCast.
A few weeks ago, BSC's Mystic Media editors took a trip to the Big Apple for the annual College Media Association Spring Convention. Armed with his trusty camera, Jordan Bitts shares some highlights of the trip.
Hey Eric.
Yes, Jordan.
Where are we?
We're in New York City.
Let's go. Land is dark, and you is the only light you see. I won't cry, won't shed a tear.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you're going to see something crazy. Something different. There's going to be a black guy
running real fast with no police behind him. Make some noise!
Wild! Question! What's the secret to life? What's the secret to life? That's you! That's a drug studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you this special report today. We're at the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty as they call her. She is a beauty. As I look out over the harbor, I ponder my thoughts and my pride for the country I live in. I'm a proud American.
Tickets to what?
That's all.
Here we are, getting tickets to board.
Hey, how'd that one turn out?
Cannot help but think of my heritage and how my ancestors saw that torch in the distance. That's all I got.
See, only because I'm reading what it should be do I know what that is.
After frolicking through the city, you'll need something to eat. May I recommend the Billy Crystal from Lindy's? It's got lots of meat in it. After you eat the Billy Crystal, may I suggest trying some of their authentic New York City cheesecake? I prefer the Oreo. Or, if you want a real New York City experience, eat a Reuben. My favorite is from the 810 Deli on 7th Avenue.
New York City was an amazing experience.
Oh, I agree. However, I'm still a bit bloated from all the wonderful sandwiches we scarfed down. If you have been on the campus of Bismarck State College lately, you probably noticed a large structure going up on the corner of Schaefer Street and Edwards Avenue. Here's a brief introduction of some of the details on the new Creative Arts and Communications building.
When we first looked at this project and the legislature and the governor approved the budget for the $13.7 million for the building, we had a particular square footage in mind in terms of what we pictured happening. When the architect sat down with us and we determined at that time what the new cost per square foot was, we had to reduce, or the building became shrunk in terms of its size due to that increased cost, and that's largely due to the impact of Bakken and the push on construction and everything else, and it just ended up limiting our building size.
In our new building, one of the things we'll have is compact shelving, mobile shelving, which allows us to shelve materials in a smaller footprint because the shelves actually run together on rails, and when a person wants to go down a particular aisle to get a book, then we would just open up that bay.
Well, this is going to be a fantastic thing to happen for the visual art department here at BSC. We're going to be able to move into state-of-the-art facilities. We're going to be able to expand and have a bigger printmaking area. We're going to have a better shop. I teach primarily ceramics, and ceramics is going to come out really well in terms of improved facility. where rooms that are designed for the single purpose of storage of clays, storage of glazed chemicals will be designed exactly for that.
We will continue to have books. You know, libraries are about collections, organized collections of things. So we're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. We will continue to have print books and print magazines and newspapers.
We're going to have a shared combined space, so rather than segregate the wheels and the hand building area, we'll have that all together so our classes can remain more together during the context of the time where I'm teaching.
Quiet spaces are important to people, but so are spaces where you can collaborate and learn with others. So we'll have a nice mix of that kind of space, that more traditional kind of library space, as well as a new, far more collaborative kind of zone. So we're looking forward to that.
Since 2007, BSC has added 7 new buildings and made major renovations to 2 more. With all these additions, Bismarck State College has become a 2-year community college with a bright and competitive future.
And now we go from the highly communicated to the highly caffeinated. Strap yourself in for episode 2 of the Great Midwestern Coffee Crawl. Here's Danny Molinaro.
Caffeine addicts and Mystic Media members go all across North Dakota's small towns to find the best cup of joe in the land. This is the Great Midwestern Coffee Crawl. This episode, we're staying close to home and sticking with Bismarck, North Dakota. Now, this is one of many locations of Starbucks in this city, but what you might not know is there are a lot of hidden gems. Here we are in downtown Bismarck on a busy Saturday night, where everyone is here at Fireflower Pizza or Laughing Sun. This is an awesome place if you want to go and socialize. Here at Fireflower, you have everything. You have pizza, which is skillfully crafted, and coffee.
I didn't get coffee, I got hot chocolate, but Miss Danny Molinaro, Miss Molinaro, she got an almond latte. Chad Brinkman, how's that beer tasting tonight?
It's wonderful.
That's fabulous.
This place has quite the following with all of its great features, so I would like to introduce our next stop. That is more of a hidden gem. Stop number 2 is Country House Deli. This unassuming coffee stop started with a past manager's passion for coffee that carried through the next generation.
I like the idea of bringing better options to this area. I went to North Carolina for 3 years, got experience actually working in a coffee shop. So I brought my production knowledge back here, and I've kind of worked to refine processes.
Zach provides that personal touch by making everything more manual and handcrafted.
Everything is done on site, keeps prices low.
They're able to keep the prices competitive from the roasting to the preparation.
My favorite feature is definitely the fresh coffee. We're one of the freshest coffee houses in Bismarck because we roast it on site.
Being such a secret spot comes with understandable challenges.
Definitely. Always hiring.
Always hiring baristas.
It would be very helpful to have some more staff so that I could train people. People should definitely come here. I would come here even if I didn't work here.
But if you choose to reject a unique cup of local joe, that brings us to square one.
Well, I had no idea that Bismarck had such fancy coffee places.
I'll just stick to my Starbucks Grande White Mocha. Those places are just too hipster for me. The BSC Theater Department has a history of giving the community edgy spring musicals. Naturally, the community has a history of giving backlash and reviews. But what many people don't see is the cast review of their experience with the production. Danielle Molinaro brings a refreshing overview on this year's musical, Spring Awakening.
It was a great time. It was really good for bonding, and I really hope the message was well received by the Republic for the most part, and everyone took away something from it.
I just hope that it opens people's minds to that just in their own lives, but also is going to open a door for more creative freedom in theater in North Dakota.
This talk of public reaction, creative freedom, and open-mindedness was roused by BSC's edgy spring musical, Spring Awakening.
The play touches on elements that were relevant in 1891 and they're still relevant now.
My character struggles with, sexuality and abuse from parents and loneliness and suicide.
It's a play based around 14 to 16-year-old kids. And so there is one male and one female playing all of the adult characters. And so I played a variety of female characters.
A professional musical is one challenge, but for these players, the experience and content proved most trying.
It does deal with a lot of touchy subjects, and I know that some of the parents involved with their kids in the musical did not want their child in the musical, and after they saw it, they were shocked and they were more open about it, and that we got a lot of that feedback too. Everybody kind of seemed to dwell on all of the sexual subjects of it, the masturbation, the sex scene, when really the most disturbing part of it, it's the abuse and the incest.
With heavy content and such young players portraying these issues, backlash was expected.
Yeah, I did expect a lot of backlash, but I was pleasantly surprised that there wasn't. That there was a lot of, more positive comments, and that, people said that we brought these issues into such an artistic way that it didn't really offend anybody.
Yes, in good taste. It was really done in good taste.
People were really moved by it, and they were just really happy. We chose to do one of the more edgier performances. A couple of people walked down every night, I think, except one night. I'm sure there's probably emails that were sent to the college, but we never really had anyone backlash at us.
And so we already knew each other extremely well. We were all really comfortable with each other, and then with everything, with the controversial subjects and needing to kind of band together and learn the material, I leaned a lot on my castmates.
Banding together for some of life's hardest times, Christopher Lindquist was a dear friend and director that has a special place in the cast's heart.
Well, Christopher was supposed to be our director for Spring Awakening, and he was there for auditions and for callbacks, and he cast the entire show. And then he became very ill, and we discovered that he had terminal brain cancer, and he died 4 days into rehearsals, actually.
But I think at that moment we were all like, this is a real thing. We need to, we need to bond together and do this for him and for ourselves. Like this, Spider would always say, this is our Spring Awakening, and it was. For a lot of people, they discovered a lot of things about themselves.
Both of my grandparents on my mom's side had a heart attack during the rehearsal process, and some of the people in the cast, they lost a very dear friend to suicide during it, and with Chris's death, and we went through a lot as a cast early on.
We all were forced to be open and vulnerable right away, because we were all feeling such real strong emotions from outside the show.
Through this show and this experience, that we all bonded very closely, more closely than I have ever bonded with any cast. And I mean, we're still hanging out.
We got really close, and it's the closest that I've ever been to a cast, actually. It really was like a family.
Here are some passive-aggressive thoughts the cast had about the New York director, Spider Duncan Christopher.
Well, our director kind of had his own vision that we didn't really, as a cast, really believe in. And so we kind of took it on as a group and just kind of made it our own.
When he was interviewed, he always kind of said that he brought out the acting in us, whereas it's been years of copious amounts of training and just working with vast amounts of directors. But he basically took credit for everything that we already knew how to do.
He expected to fly up and be in the Hicks of North Dakota, where there is no culture.
I did like Spider. I mean, he came in when we didn't have anybody, and so for that I respect him.
It was a pleasure working with everyone. I love them all, and they're all very dear to me.
Same. So the public received it well, good topics were addressed in good taste, and the cast is as close as a family.
Looks like there's a reason to do controversial plays, after all.
Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of MystiCast. I'm Jordan Bitts.
And I'm Eric Mathias. All of us here at MystiCast hope you have a fantastic day and a blessed Easter holiday. Thanks for watching.